Well, Jason, thank you very much for your time today. It's a real pleasure to be speaking to you about Dell Technologies Forum, which is coming up next month. So
Great, Ryan. Thanks a lot.
uh, so I know the fourth quarter of the year has been a busy one for Dell Technologies, with Dell Technologies World last week and Dell Technologies Forum 2020 coming up on the 25th of November. So perhaps as a first question, why hold Dell Technologies Forum now when many other vendors cancel their annual events, and why not just take a back seat and skip this year?
So, Ryan, I think that is the answer to that is pretty short. A lot of our customers out there during these times, the guys are looking for guidance. They're looking for some help. They're looking for as much information as they can possibly get their hands on around digital transformation, how they can transform their businesses. Our digital transformation index results have come out, and we've seen from that customers are hungry for it. They want to know. 80% of our customers have accelerated their digital transformation strategies and are moving ahead even faster. But at that same time, they're looking for a lot of guidance on how to do that. So the more information they can get, the better it is for them. And that's the reason why it's up to us to help our customers during this time and to give them any kind of guidance that we can.
Fantastic. So how is making it a virtual experience enabled Dell Technologies to offer participants something distinctive?
So I think with the advantage that delegates who attend the event have of coming to a virtual event is that now I can bring the best speakers in the world through to the South African audience. So before, we've been able to bring over 3 or 4 speakers, from different parts of the world to the actual live event to come and present. But now we have 27 sessions that are going to be run over the 3 hours, I think it is. And in that time, you can imagine now I'm bringing, the best of Dell to the South African audience. So all of the best speakers, these guys are subject matter experts on every single little area that we're going to be presenting. And that's the advantage that we have in a virtual event. And then the other advantage of it is that during the event, we're going to have a chat functionality that will be available as well. So whilst people are actually watching the presentation, they can engage with an expert on that particular topic and ask any questions they may have about that. And that person's also going to be watching it as well. So they'll be able to, live to kind of give feedback and, answer any questions that people may have. And I think that's the beauty of online and virtual is that it's immediate. People have that ability to interact.
Brilliant. So they can have access to some serious brain power.
For sure, definitely.
What are some of the highlights that viewers can look forward to?
So I would say the biggest highlight is that we've got a recording Michael Dell has done for this event. So he will be talking about, I think, more of a positive future, talking around maybe what technology can enable, for humans. I mean, it's, Dell's all about enabling human progress. So he's got a positive message that he'll be delivering at the event. And then the other big one as well is we have Jacques Nienaber. So he's the Springbok coach. So there's also, he'll also be talking around technology and sport, what Dell's done to enable the Springboks, and how important that is to the Springboks as well. So a lot of people imagine sports is just you've got to train harder and be faster, but sports changed. And it's important, that sports organizations like the Springboks take a serious approach when they look at technology. And then I think it'll just be interesting for the people for the delegates who attend to hear what Jacques got to say around that. Is that how if the Springboks can use technology to get that edge, I'm sure that any organization out there can use technology to get an edge.
Fantastic. So who would you most encourage to attend? Like, are there any particular industries or types of businesses that some of the breakout sessions would particularly benefit?
I would say, I don't think, I mean, there's something for everyone at this event. So, whether an organization is a small organization, whether you are, just a few people, there's a strong story around workspace mobility. You can attend those sessions. Larger enterprise organizations might want to know about how to manage their data across various cloud platforms. So there's definitely, depending on what you want to watch, we've got 19 on-demand sessions that people who attend can watch, and then there's 3 streams that we have that are going to be running throughout the events as well. So there is I would say it would appeal, I think, to every organization size. There's also some interesting topics around artificial intelligence, which is something that I think a lot of industries can benefit from, and then automation, which also ties into that. Is it how you can automate some of your processes? So yeah, it's very, very broad.
So something for everyone. You mentioned about the different tracks that are running concurrently. Will participants be able to replay and revisit tracks they might have missed after the event?
So Ryan, I think that's the beauty as well of having a virtual event, is that so delegates who attend the event, after the event, if there's something that they want to go back, so if they've chosen a track and that they during the event, and then afterwards there was something else that maybe they think they would like to have watched, they can go back and then re-experience that and see what was discussed. Obviously, if they're going back afterwards, there won't be a chat functionality. But so the 3 tracks are around flexible IT, digital workspace, and then innovating through data. So if you choose one track, yeah, for sure, definitely after the event, you can go back and watch some of the content from the other.
Fantastic. So I know the focus of the Dell Technologies Forum this year is our digital transformation, as you mentioned, and helping organizations drive the innovation forward. Both seem even more relevant and important than ever amid COVID-19 and what we experienced today. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Definitely. So as I mentioned just now, we've seen that 80% of our customers, so we ran a survey, and 80% of our customers that were surveyed said that during the recent few months, they have accelerated their digital transformation. I mean, for obvious reasons. You can imagine people are working from home. You need to have secure connectivity. It needs to be consistent. People need to have their, be able to access their work applications. And so all of that, I think, has kind of thrust organizations into a space where we've seen that transformation has had to be accelerated. The other interesting stat that came up was that 1/3 of the respondents said that they were worried about their business surviving the next 2 years, and for various reasons, whether it's that they because of the lockdown, and the effect that it's had on their organizations, or maybe it's just got to do with other organizations that are, that are moving online and that are taking business. We've seen a massive growth in the online sector, across the board, not only in South Africa. And that's what I think people would come to an event like this to come and have a look at, is to see, how can I transform my business? How do I make sure I remain relevant to my customers? Because that's another thing. Customers are looking for consistency. They're looking for customization. And, and I think that industries need to have a look at that and go, how are we moving in that direction? And how are we going to transform digitally quicker?
Sure. Fantastic. As well, I think perhaps continuing on with that, the 2 themes from the breakout sessions that particularly caught my eye were around flexibility in IT and digital workspace. Of course, digital workspace is so hugely relevant this year. Can you give a little bit of that?
I think on those 2 topics, it's interesting that you've chosen those two. And there's an aspect within innovating through IT, which is the third kind of pillar in that that I'll also touch on as well. But obviously around the digital workplace, that's a big one. I mean, that's something definitely over the past few months that we've seen our customers working with us closely to make sure that the experience that their employees have at home is exactly as if they were in the office. They need to be connected. They need to be able to collaborate with their colleagues, in order to make sure that as a team they're achieving the same results as if they were in the office. And that is also around, you'll see the topic that we've brought in on that is work from home and business continuity. So we have to make sure, another interesting stat was that 60% of people are working outside of normal business hours. So when they're at home, they're still getting their work done, but they might be working more in the evenings or sometimes in the early morning. And that's important to keep that in mind when we're designing collaboration tools and how we're setting up people's home offices to make sure that they have all the tools to collaborate and at the right time and in a way that is productive. The one area that I wanted to mention as well is where we also have a session on artificial intelligence and emerging technology. And this is something, it's kind of like a bit of a favorite of mine, because it talks more to kind of the future and where we're going to be going and how we're going to be automating a lot of the processes that we're looking at. One of the stats that IDC also, in a recent survey that they did, showed that companies who are adopting this, they're predicting that their productivity will increase by 100% by 2025. So over the next 5 years or 4 years, they're expecting to double their productivity within their organizations by automating it and by using artificial intelligence. So that's also, I think that's going to be another fascinating session to go and attend.
For sure. I think last one is, I know there are going to be a number of discussions on breakthrough technologies like AI, etc. But is Project Apex and service perhaps going to be one of those discussions?
Definitely, Ryan. So, I mean, the big announcement happened at Dell Technologies World recently. Apex is really around offering Dell's products and services as a service. So, there's I think it's going to be a process over the next few years for Dell South Africa as well as our customers within the country. But it's definitely going to be a hot topic at the event. I think a lot of people want to understand how that would work and how those models would work. And yeah, sure. I mean, people can come along, ask questions. As I said, we've got the chat functionality. It's something that I think we would like to share with our customers at the event. So yeah, big news around Apex. So yeah, hopefully we can answer some of those questions that people may have.
Fantastic, Jason. Such a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you very much. We're very much looking forward to November 25th and the Dell Technologies Forum.
Hey, Ryan, there's just one more thing I want to put up there. If people would like to register, the easy way to do it is to go to our social media platforms. It is free, to attend the event. So go to our social media platforms. It's at Dell Tech ZA, both on Facebook and on Twitter. You'll see the post for the event there. Just click on that to register, and we'll be talking you through the whole process, leading up to the event.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, you too.